Good morning students, myself Jeenu Malik. I will help you to understand geography of class 10th. Dear students, we have discussed our ongoing chapter manufacturing industries up to the topic classification of industry. Today we are going to discuss one such industry, that is agro-based industries. First of all, we must know about the meaning of agro-based. Dear students, those industries which have agriculture produce as their raw material are known as agro-based industry. For example, cotton, jute, silk, woolen textile, sugar industries, edible oil industries, etc. Now let's discuss one such example of agro-based industry, that is textile industry. Dear students, textile industry occupies unique position in Indian economy because it contributes significantly to the industrial production. It also contributes to employment generation, to earn foreign exchange, etc. In other words, we can say that textile industry is a self-reliant industry and it also complete in the value chain. Here we must know the meaning of self-reliant industries. Dear students, such industries that can process the product itself, that is from collecting raw material to producing furnished goods, is known as self-reliant industries. And textile industry is considered to be self-reliant because product produced at each stage in this industry are used as raw materials for the next stage of production. That's why we called it self-reliant industry. And the meaning of value addition is the worth added to a product during the production process, the difference between what the producing company paid for its input, means paid for its raw material, and the price it charged for the finished goods is known as value addition. If here we can see the flow diagram of a value addition in the textile industry. Dear students, now let's understand this flow diagram. Here you can see how value is added at every stage, from fiber to yarn, from yarn to fabric, and from fabric to garment. First of all, at very first stage we have some raw fiber. We take this raw fiber into our fiber production unit. Then we do some spinning process on it and create yarn. Then on yarn we do weaving and knitting process and create fabric. Then on fabric we do some dyeing and finishing process to give it color or pattern. Then we produce garments. So इस तरीके से हमारी इस पूरी प्रोसेस में वैल्यू एडिशन होता है एट ईच एंड एवरी स्टेज. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल जहां पर रो फाइबर 5 रुपीज में आता है, देन यार्न हमें 50 रुपीज में, देन फैब्रिक इन 500 रुपीज एंड देन गारमेंट इन 5000 रुपीज. तो यहाँ पे हर स्टेज पे वैल्यू एडिशन होता है. ये एक एग्जाम्पल आपको बताया गया है. इन आवर नेक्स्ट स्लाइड यू कैन सी सम मशीन्स ऑफ स्पिनिंग एंड knitting. Now let's discuss one example of textile industry, and the most popular example is cotton textile. Dear students, in ancient India, cotton textile were produced with hand spinning and handloom weaving techniques. But after the 18th century, when power loom came into use, our traditional industries suffered a setback during the colonial period because now they could not compete with the mill-made cloth from England. In India, the first successful textile mill was established in Mumbai in 1854, and in the early years, these cotton textile industries was concentrated in the cotton growing belt of Maharashtra and Gujarat because because of the availability of black cotton, soil is there, which is very much good for the production of cotton. And along with this, the transport facilities, including the accessible port facility, availability of labor, and the moist climate contribute toward its localization. Dear students, this industry has close link with agriculture and provide a living to farmers, cotton wool pluckers, workers engaged in ginning process, spinning, weaving, dyeing, designing process, packaging, tailoring, etc. So we can see how cotton textile industry is a self-reliant industry itself. Dear students, while spinning unit still continues to be centralized in Maharashtra, Gujarat and Tamil Nadu state, whereas the weaving unit is highly decentralized because they wants to provide scope for incorporating traditional skills, design of weaving in cotton, silk, zari, embroidery, etc. India has world-class production in spinning, but the weaving supplies the low quality of fabric as it cannot use much of the high quality yarn produced in the country because most of the yarn produced in the country export to the other countries. Our main exporters are Japan, USA, UK, France, Sri Lanka, Nepal, Singapore, East European countries and some African countries. Dear students, in India, weaving is done by the handloom, powerloom and in the mills. The hand spoon khadi provides the large-scale employment to the weavers in their home as cotton industry. Although we have a large share in the world trade of cotton yarn, our spinning mills are competitive at global level and capable of using all the fibers we produce in country. But still our cotton textile industries are facing a lots of problem. Let's discuss them. The challenges of our cotton textile industries are the scarcity of good quality cotton, old machineries, especially in the processing and weaving unit, erratic power supply, low output from labor, and the stiff competition with the synthetic fiber industries. Along with this, dear students, in India, production is done in the fragmented small units such as the spinning units, weaving units, dyeing units, packaging units, different small units. And this mismatch is a major drawback for the industry. As a result, many of our spinners export the cotton yarn to the other countries while the garment manufacturer of our country have to import the fabric. So these are some problems which our cotton textile industries facing. Now let's discuss the second example of our textile industry, and that is jute industry. But before going to discuss the jute industry, let's see some cotton textile industries on India's political map. Here you can see the symbol of our cotton textile industry in the index, and you can easily locate it on our India's political map. Here the black cotton soil area of India, some area of Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, Maharashtra, and along with this now in western Uttar Pradesh and near about the Kanpur also there are cotton textile industries. जैसे कि हमने पहले डिस्कस किया था कि पहले ज्यादातर जो हमारी टेक्सटाइल इंडस्ट्रीज थी वो सिर्फ ब्लैक कॉटन सोयल एरिया के अराउंड ही सेंट्रलाइज थी, बट आजकल जो वीविंग यूनिट हैं वो अलग अलग जगह पे डिसेंट्रलाइज्ड हो चुकी हैं, जैसे कि वेस्ट बंगाल के अंदर एंड तमिलनाडु के अंदर. सो नाउ द नेक्स्ट एग्जांपल इज जूट टेक्सटाइल. Dear students, India is the largest producer of raw jute and jute goods, and it also stands at second place as an exporter after Bangladesh. In India, the first jute mill was set up near Kolkata in 1855 at Rishra. Unfortunately, after partition in 1947, the jute mills remained in India, but three-fourths of the jute producing areas went to Bangladesh. Now, dear students, most of the mills in India are located in West Bengal, mainly along the bank of the Hooghly River. What are the factors responsible for their location in the Hooghly Basin? Let's discuss these factors. First one, the proximity of jute producing areas. Along with this, inexpensive water transport supported by a good network of railways, roadways, waterways to facilitate the movement of raw material to the mills. Abundant water for processing the raw jute, cheap labor from West Bengal and adjoining states of Bihar, Odisha and Uttar Pradesh. Along with this, Kolkata as a large urban center provides the banking, insurance and port facilities for export of jute goods. But dear students, just like our cotton textile industries, our jute industry is also facing some challenges. Now let's discuss what kind of challenges faced by our jute industry. Dear students, our jute textile industry facing the stiff competition in the international market from the synthetic substitute and from the other competitors like Bangladesh, Brazil, Philippines, Egypt and Thailand, etc. But here we just not only discuss the challenges, we also discussing some solution. However, the internal demand has been on the increase due to the government policies of mandatory use of jute packaging. Along with this, in 2005, National Jute Policies was formulated with the objective of increasing productivity, improving quality, ensuring good price to the jute farmers and enhancing the yield per hectare. Dear students, we also have to do some efforts to stimulate the demand. The products need to be diversified because nowadays the main markets for our jute products are USA, Canada, Ghana, Saudi Arabia, UK, Australia, etc. Because the growing global concern for environment friendly biodegradable materials has once again opened the opportunities for jute goods or jute products. Now, the next example of our agro-based industry is sugar industry. Dear students, India stands second as a world producer of sugar, but it occupies the first place in the production of jaggery, that means gur and khandsari. The raw material used in this industry is sugarcane, which is very bulky, and in haulage its sucrose content reduce. Haulage means ढुलाई. सो जब फार्मर फार्मलैंड से शुगर मिल तक जब अपना शुगर केन लेकर जाता है तो इन बिटवीन जो ये टाइम लगता है इसके अंदर शुगर केन का सरकोज कंटेंट ड्राई हो जाता है, रिड्यूस हो जाता है. And as I already told you, sugarcane is very bulky. That's why the mills are located near about the area where sugarcane produced. For example, in India, most of the mills are located in Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Gujarat, Punjab, Haryana, Madhya Pradesh, etc. Even 60% mills are in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. Along with this, there are one more characteristics regarding these industries. This industry is seasonal in nature and that's why it is ideally suited to the cooperative sector. Dear students, in recent years, there is a tendency for the mills to shift and concentrate in the southern and western state, especially in Maharashtra. Why this has happened? Because The sugarcane produced here has a higher sucrose content. Along with this, the cooler climate also ensure a longer crushing season. If we talk about the month of crushing season in North India, then it is around 4 months, whereas in Southern India it is around 7 to 8 months. नॉर्थ इंडिया में क्रशिंग सीजन स्टार्ट होता है नवंबर से, रहता है फेब तक, जबकि इन सदर्न इंडिया इट स्टार्टेड इन अक्टूबर एंड एंड इन मई और इवन इन जून. सो लॉन्गर क्रशिंग सीजन की वजह से भी वहां पर ज्यादा कंसंट्रेशन हो गया है. Moreover, the cooperatives are also more successful in the southern state of our India. And just like the cotton and jute industries, sugarcane industry is also facing some challenges. Let's discuss these challenges. Major challenges includes the seasonal nature of the industry. Along with this, the old and inefficient method of production, transport delay in reaching the sugarcane to the factories, and the need to maximize the uses of baggage. Baggage mean the waste material of the sugarcane. जब हम sugarcane को sugar में convert करते हैं तो जो उसका waste material है उसका अभी हम कुछ ज्यादा utilization नहीं कर पाए हैं, तो हमें उसके uses को भी बढ़ाना है. So these are some challenges faced by our sugarcane industry. So dear students, with this topic we are going to sum up our today's class. We will meet soon in our next class and will discuss about the mineral based industry. Till then, stay happy and blessed. Do hard work. Thanks.